Congressman Cory Mills. He's on the ground in North Carolina, helping to deliver supplies. Congressman, I see the helicopter behind you, and I heard you just got off of it a few moments ago. Tell us what you were up to.
So thanks so much for having me, Laura. Yeah, we've got a patient that we had to do an emergency medevac on, unable to get support, blood pressure through the roof, showing signs of not just infection and the bone disease, but really in kind of a troubling area. Great spirits, amazing woman. But we've done quite a few of these types of evacs, from an 83-year-old man that was showing signs of cardiac arrest that we rescued from Bailey into Johnson City. We've delivered, thanks to our partnership with Mercury One and Glenn Beck's team, over 18,000 pounds of supplies. We've put up over 20-plus Starlink systems. We've gone across all of Asheville, Burnsville, Cello. We've gone to Broad River, South Toe, Mountain High School today. We've gone into Pensacola, continuing to try and do what the federal government won't, and that's the reality. I saw my first FEMA truck today, and they admitted that they just got here this morning. And meanwhile, yesterday, Laura, you had President Biden, who came in here, shut down our actual capabilities for up to 4 hours, putting a 30-mile TFR after abandoning this place for, 6 days. Unfortunately, it's not named Ukraine, North Carolina, or they would have already had enough money. And then you think about Mayorkas, who said they're at the end of their funding, but he doesn't want to tell the American people that money that was supposed to go to disaster relief was actually utilized and repurposed for immigration resettlement. So let's go ahead and call the truth to what is going on here. It's the America Last agenda. It's focused on 9,000 miles away, not 990 miles away. It's keep our borders open while we go ahead and secure everyone else. Let's drive up everyone's medical costs because we're going to do, uncompensated medical treatments for those who are illegally here through the criminal migrants and add to angel families. And so we're going to be on the ground. We're going to continue to help the people until the federal government. And I can tell you, this is community-based. This is veterans who are coming together. These are charity organizations who are coming together, and it's the community who is delivering. It is not the federal government at this point.
Well, I keep watching these social media posts, Congressman, of folks who've gotten their cell phones powered up somehow. And these are moms with 2 and 3 kids who say, we've run out of diapers. We have very, very little food left. And we keep hearing about supplies, but where are they? Like, I keep saying this, how are we a superpower when we leave our people stranded, and yet every time Zelensky comes into town, he gets another, couple $100 million?
Yeah. Well, Laura, think about it. There's been a complete pattern of abandonment under Biden and Harris. Let's go through it for a moment and just recall what it was. 2021, you got the Afghan botched withdrawal. I conducted the first overland rescue successfully of an American, a mother and 3 children from Amarillo, Texas, before they were willing to try and get anyone out, and even grounding aircraft over in Kunduz. Then you've got, fast forward to October 7th, the most horrendous incident that's ever happened in barbarism in Israel. I was on the ground 4 days later conducting the first rescues, 32 people out of Tiberias, Nazareth, and Haifa, then with 255 in total that we ended up getting out before the administration sent a single plane in. Then let's go back to just April and May, where we had to go into Haiti after the war-torn area collapsed under the gangs and rescue the first 23 Americans by helo rescues and 59 children who are being left behind. This administration, what the pattern is, you have to shame them into doing what is right.
It's a dereliction of duty.
We have to get them what's doing.
This is a dereliction of duty, but Joe Biden did speak today and said, basically, we got it under control. Watch.
Days before the storm hit, I pre-positioned extensive resources on the ground throughout the Southeast, extensively. First responders, search and rescue teams, food, water, ambulances, before Helene had made landfall.
What I read from accounts in North Carolina and Tennessee was that most of that material was positioned in the Big Bend area of Florida, which is fine, but it really wasn't pre-positioned in up the southeast where the storm was going to go. Is that right, or am I reading something incorrectly?
No, you're exactly right, but also he's failed to utilize Title 10 to help our Department of Defense to be able to deploy out. You've got Fort Bragg, North Carolina, Cherry Point, Camp Lejeune, Hope Air Force Base. We got aviation regiments who could have been here immediately. Then he shows up 6 days later making promises that likely won't be kept. We talked to a FEMA individual today who said, well, if they want to know where we're at, all they have to do is track what the media is reporting. These are people without houses, without power. And then she said, oh, well, maybe they can just get into their cars and charge their phone and turn it on to find out where we are. They were in an isolated one truck who just showed up this morning, and they're like, we're processing people for FEMA, but yet they have no idea how to go house to house to even get it done. So there's nothing being done here. It's the community who is coming together. It's the charities and veteran organizations who are delivering. And I'm okay with one thing, which is that if we're not going to go ahead and continue to fund these types of things, if American people are going to do it for them, then let's go ahead and get the money back to the state so they can take care of themselves.
Well, Congressman, my angle was about zero oversight. Congress keeps greenlighting these massive spending bills and just, oh, it's a rush. It's before Christmas. It's before Christmas. We got to sign it. And then meanwhile, there's a huge amount of money being used for non-Americans, illegal immigrants. So they get all the money, and these people are seeing their houses float away, and then Kamala comes in and says, we'll give you $750 for immediate needs. It's just, this is crazy. This is crazy stuff.
Laura, it's even crazier that I went into Pensacola, Florida. Not a single federal government agent's been there. We had the chief come to us and say, we just had 4 fatalities. 2 people just washed down the river. They couldn't recover the bodies on. And his exact quote, and I'm not paraphrasing, when he said, we'll be uncovering and unburying bodies until the end of the year.
Well, Pete Buttigieg doesn't want anyone flying drones in the area. He's worried about that. I think part of this is, I think they don't want Americans to really see the extensive nature of this damage. It is a heartbreak. 200 plus people now dead in this storm, and that our focus should be at home as this kind of stuff is going on. Congressman, you are doing such great work. It shouldn't be up to you and other volunteers. Our federal government should be leading this along with state agencies to the extent they can.
Well, if Biden's not going to do his job, I will, Laura. And as an elected official, I will always put we the people first.
Yeah, well, I think Congress has got to watch how it spends our money going forward. They should have done it a long time ago. Congressman, thank you very much.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.